Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Pounding Rocks Truck Shop. If you're new here, this is my 1970 Datsun 521 project truck that I've been working on since 2023. This channel is mainly dedicated to Nissan products, like Nissan hard bodies, Nissan Pathfinders. I've got a Nissan 720 that's on the channel, and I also have an Infiniti G37X that I cover every once in a while when I do some stuff to it. But this series is on this truck, which I traded a WD22 Xterra for back in, I'd say, May of 2023. So I've had this for 2 years now. It's been a huge project so far. It came to me in boxes. Follow from the beginning when I first get it to discovering what it is, what's been done to it, and where it's at today. It's a nice little vlog that I do on this thing. But today I have doors. My buddy Justin, who runs Finger Lakes Vintage Auto Parts in New York State, texted me that a gentleman by the name of Datsun Ted was on Instagram selling Datsun parts, and that he had doors that he had for sale. So I reached out and we made a deal, and these doors just arrived not more than an hour ago from Washington State. So they went UPS, and I'll get into that in a second, but they went UPS from Washington State to my house here in New York State. And Datsun Ted is great to work with. Excellent communication, good prices. He really packed these things pretty good, but there's always UPS, post office, FedEx, doesn't matter. They're always going to find a way to damage something like this. But overall, I'm happy. These are fixable. They're usable. They kind of match the rest of the truck. And here's why I had to get these. Is 1970, Nissan Datsun changed these doors. They looked exactly the same from the inside and outside, but the differences lie in the locking mechanism, the latching mechanism that holds the door to the cab. This piece specifically is unique, starting in 1970. So the first set of doors that came with this truck were from 1967. They're from actually a 520. And a lot of pieces from that 520 are going on this truck. But you really can't make 1967 doors work with 1970 latches. I've been up and down Datsun. I've been on different forums and whatnot. And the consensus is, unless you're really, really a good fabricator, which I am not, 1967 doors will not work. So for the last 2 years, I've been kind of half-heartedly searching for doors, mainly locally, but I knew that that was going to be kind of fruitless because there's none of these trucks out here. There is a 1972 in the junkyard south of me, which is covered on this channel, but those doors are completely dilapidated. There's no good parts. So obviously I'm not going to use those. And the 1967 that's sitting up north of me, I already have those doors and I already know they're not going to work. These doors are from somewhere between 1970 and 1972. Datsun Ted pulled them, packaged them, sent them to me. Great deal. I did try and buy doors from California last year, but the shipping was going to be absolutely through the roof, and it was just overall cost preventative to get that done. So he made a deal. There are obviously two different colors. I'm not worried about that. The truck has got, it's a hodgepodge of certain, unpainted and painted, pieces, like that brand new fender that's got Datsun numbers on it, and then the original fender, but I'm not sure if that's the original fender or not. The hood is slightly different than the rest of the truck. So this truck is not original. So I'm not worried about originality in terms of that. I would like the truck to be all one color, even if it's just primer. We'll get to that. but this was a big step. And I appreciate what Datsun Ted did. He's a great guy to work with. He's easy to work with. And, you know, since I was not in any major hurry, we took our time. We made sure that, you know, we communicated, and, you know, he has life going on and I have life going on. So but we always touched base. And the doors arrived, and here they are. Driver side, passenger side laid out. And I think the green door fared better than this red door, or what used to be a red door, in terms of shipping. Now, you can see that's new damage, that's new damage, and this corner here has had a little bit of fuggery here, which is probably something that I can just bend back very carefully. Everything else, aside from, there's a section right here in the middle, and both doors have this identical. So somebody dropped it on the corner of something, dropped the whole package, because both of these doors were packaged together. Someone dropped it, and it cornered that one, and it did the exact same thing right here on this door too. It cratered it right there. That's fixable. But they did bend the handle end of it, the actual latch end of the door. This is bent. I'm sorry, there's a leaf in the way, but this is bent. So that's going to have to get bent back. The most damage here is in this corner right here. This got rolled right up. I suspect that this is probably bendable. With a little bit of massage work, I could probably bend this back into position and have it be okay. But I do want to have an expert chime in before I start doing this, because the last thing I want to do is break any welds, you know, any kind of like potential danger in doing that. Now, I'm not worried about this is cosmetic. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about this, because as I said, the truck is probably not going to be painted. I'm not going to do a $70,000 paint job on this truck, although I would love to. I absolutely would love to. It would be so awesome if I could do that, but it's not going to happen. You can see that another sweated dot. So these doors need work. I knew that these doors needed work just looking at the pictures. I knew I was not going to score two pristine 521 doors. I just knew it. It's not something that I expected coming out of the box. They look exactly the way they did in the photographs, except for what UPS has done to them. Now, Ted feels awful about it as well. I feel, you know, a little disappointed, but not in him. This is completely not on him. It says that his packaging job literally took me 45 minutes to undo. And UPS still found a way to get these things messed up. But it's sheet metal. Sheet metal works. You know, you can work on sheet metal. So I could weld studs to that and just pull them out and put a skim coat on them, you know, because I don't want to be driving around with a green door, or maybe I do, who knows. But since the truck is going to pretty much be a primer and it's always going to look like it's kind of a rat rod kind of situation, I'm not as upset as, you know, somebody who was doing a full restoration and wanted out of the box doors. I'm not going to be upset about that at all. It's really not a big, huge deal, because the cosmetics is the last thing that I want to deal with on the trucks. If I go that far, which who knows, I might not. Depends on if I get rich or not. But I still want just a driver. And if it's in all primer, great. If it's not in all primer and it looks like a Harlequin, fine. That's fine too. I'm not worried about it. It's great and all. So I'm just happy to have 1970 to 1972 doors in my possession now that will actually close and latch on this thing. So that gives me more inspiration to turn wrenches on this thing. You guys have seen that I've done a bunch of internal work here, getting some of the fixings in, because this truck came with nothing installed at all. If you leaned against the cab would slide because it wasn't even bolted to the frame. That's how project this truck was. So I'm not really worried about this yet. I'm just glad I've got what I need to make it work. So if I have to mix and match and cut a section out of these doors to put on the 67 doors, I at least have options now, as opposed to no options whatsoever. When I woke up this morning, I didn't have 1972 doors. Let's just put it that way. I didn't have 1972 doors to put on this truck. So now it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 4:30 in the afternoon, and it is June 6th. Though we're losing all our summer to rain out here, which I hate. But at least this is inside. I can work on this in here, which is great. But now at 4:30, June 6th, 2025, I now have two 1970 to 72 doors, which I didn't have before. So to recap, this truck was missing the doors. It came with 67 doors. It didn't have a windshield. I have the windshield. It didn't have the back glass. I have the back glass. It didn't have a dashboard. I have a dashboard. It didn't have a gas tank. I have a fuel cell. Those are like the main things that this truck was lacking, that it needed. I seem to have all the pieces now to be able to put this, to bake this cake. And I'm not, since I'm working on it in my spare time and I'm not working for perfection, I've got time to deal with this. If I happen to land into some money, if people want to buy some stuff from eBay, if YouTube pays out again, the money might go into working on these or whatnot. But, for right now, just having them here, having them sitting here is just mental reassurance, and it gets me refocused back onto the project. As I said, looking at them, it doesn't, it doesn't look like much, but it's more than I had before. Let's just put it that way. It's definitely more than I had before. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. As I said, the red door took more of the brunt than the green door, because, the green door, as I said, we can weld studs to this and pop it out and then do a skim coat and whatever and whatnot. I lose the relic, and once you do that, you're kind of committed to doing some body work. But my main concern is the door corner here. Can I bend that back without splitting welds, without damaging anything? I'm going to give you a little bit more of a cleaner shot here to show you. Can I just put a nice soft pair of pliers on it and just bend it back into position? Obviously the paint's going to crack. And then this side, can I do the same thing on this side, which this part of it is not as bad, but is it okay to do that? Because I've never done that. I'm a mechanic guy. I'm not a body guy. So some of these things I know they're all kind of interconnected, and once you break the seal, you've just opened up Pandora's box. I don't want to bend it back and all of a sudden now I've got a Bondo or re-weld or whatever, or seam seal or stuff like that. Can I do that? And these doors are not going on this truck for a little while, so I've got some time to research and figure out how I want to do it, what I want to do. So that's also the factor right there. So like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Are you enjoying the videos I'm giving you? Where do you think I should take this truck in terms of what it should be? Since it's not original, but it is really kind of in very, very good shape, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of directions I can take it. I have some ideas of what I like. And then I don't know what else to do with the rest of it and everything. So, and I'm learning as I go. I've never owned anything like this before. It's not even remotely similar to my hard body. They might be related, but there's very little resemblance between the two of them. A lot changed between 1970 and 1995. So this is a learning curve for me, and it's pushing me out of my comfort zone, because I'm definitely a hard body and Pathfinder guy. Pushing me out of my comfort zone. I'm learning a ton. So any pointers that you guys can give me, Highly appreciated. I thank everybody for tuning into the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment. See ya.